Welcome back my YouTube channel Old Car Stories. Today. We're taking a ride back to 1966, a year of style, strength, and American confidence on the open road. And there's one car that truly captured the spirit of that time. This car, Pontiac Catalina. A full-size beauty that balanced power, comfort, and class like few others could. The Catalina wasn't new in 1966, but that year marked one of its most refined and admired versions. Sitting just below the more luxurious Bonneville in Pontiac's lineup, the Catalina offered big car feel with a slightly more affordable price. Yet make no mistake, this car held its own in style and performance. The 1966 model brought subtle but meaningful updates. A cleaner front grille, sleeker lines, and stacked headlights gave the Catalina a commanding look. It was the kind of car that turned heads on Main Street without shouting for attention. A quiet confidence that came naturally to cars of this era. Under the hood, buyers had plenty of choices. The standard engine was a 389 cubic inch V8, offering smooth and steady power. But for those who wanted a little more excitement, Pontiac offered a 421 V8 option. This gave the Catalina real muscle, putting it right in the conversation with performance-oriented cars of the day. One thing that made the Catalina special was its dual personality. You could cruise in it like a luxury sedan, but if you pressed the gas, it would remind you that Pontiac was deeply involved in the performance movement of the 60s. It was a car for the family man who still wanted to feel a bit of fire behind the wheel. Inside, the Catalina was all about comfort and space. Bench seats were wide and inviting, often finished in rich vinyl or cloth combinations. The dashboard was clean and stylish, with chrome accents and a horizontal speedometer that just screamed classic Pontiac design. Everything felt built to last. There were multiple body styles too: two-door coupe, four-door sedan, convertible, and even a station wagon. Each one had its own charm, but they all shared the same Pontiac DNA: bold, wide-track stance, and a solid ride quality that handled America's highways with ease. 1966 was also a high point for Pontiac in general. The brand was riding high from the success of the GTO and was seen as the youthful, exciting arm of General Motors. The Catalina played a key role in that image, offering a bridge between everyday practicality and weekend thrills. Driving a Catalina back then was an experience of its own. The steering was light but responsive, and the ride was smooth over even rough roads. There was a quietness in the cabin that gave long trips a sense of ease. It was a time when cars were built with real metal, rail glass, and real pride. Safety features were minimal by today's standards, but for 1966, things were progressing. You could get seat belts, padded dashboards, and even optional front disc brakes. These additions showed that Pontiac was thinking ahead, even while celebrating the wide-open freedom of the American road. Collectors today often seek out the 1966 Catalina because of its design purity. It sits in that sweet spot between the flashy fins of the 50s and the boxier looks that would arrive later in the 70s. There's a timelessness to the 1966 body lines that makes it a favorite at car shows and cruise nights. Restoring a Catalina is a labor of love. Parts are still out there, though some trims and rare engine components can be a challenge to find. But owners will tell you, it's worth it. Bringing one of these classics back to life is like reviving a piece of American road history. It's also a surprisingly enjoyable car to own and drive, even today. With proper maintenance, the Catalina can handle modern roads with grace. And it still delivers that unmistakable full-size V8 rumble that turns heads and sparks conversations at every stoplight. We often talk about how cars tell stories, and the Catalina has many to share. From family road trips to teenage joyrides, from wedding getaways to quiet solo drives at dusk. This was the car that carried moments, not just people. It became a part of life's memories for so many Americans. Some even remember it as their first car, bought used in the 70s, cleaned up and driven proudly through high school or college. Others recall watching their parents polish the chrome on a Sunday morning, getting it ready for a family outing. The Catalina wasn't just a car. It was a presence that as we move further from the 1960s, cars like the Catalina remind us of what we've gained and what we've lost in automotive design. They remind us of the days when style had curves, when power was felt in your chest, and when the road truly called your name. Old car stories. We celebrate these machines not just for what they were, but for what they still represent. Freedom, craftsmanship, and the unbreakable bond between a driver and their car. The 1966 Pontiac Catalina is a shining example of that legacy. Thanks for joining us today. If you've got a Catalina story of your own, we'd love to hear it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more journeys into the heart of American automotive history. Until next time, keep the wheels turning and the stories alive.